water heaters now, you've got the old tank style, which is everybody's used to seeing those, 40-gallon, 50-gallon water heaters sitting over in the corner of your basement or maybe in a closet somewhere. That's the most typical you see. Those have a standing pilot. They use a little bit of gas all year long just to keep the pilot running. They've also got a thermostat on the front of them to adjust the water temperature, so that tank is going to try to maintain that set temperature. So during the night, that temperature will start dropping, and that burner is going to come on, and it's going to try to maintain 120-degree water. So nowadays they've got tankless water heaters that you can put in your house. They basically provide an endless amount of hot water. I would say the number one drawback of a tankless water heater is if you lose power to your house, you're also going to lose your hot water until that power comes back on. There's a little bit of maintenance on a tankless. The heat exchanger has to be cleaned about once a year, at least every other year. That way to keep it open. If the heat exchanger gets plugged up in a tankless, you'll lose flow of water, and then if it gets plugged up so bad enough, you might have to replace the entire tankless water heater. Now, the old style tank water heater, if your power goes out, you're still going to have hot water available. The problem is if you have a bigger family, so you have a bunch of kids, relatives in town, that old style tank water heater is limited on how much water it can provide, per hour. So 3 people take a shower, take a bath, and now you might have to wait a half hour for hot water again. Whereas the tankless water heater, you can have 5 people take showers and you're never going to run out of hot water. But there's a little bit of maintenance. It does require power and electricity to run. So those are the two major differences between those. If you have the space and you want to keep hot water even when your power goes out, stick with the tank water heater. If it starts leaking, you need a new water heater. There's no fixing it once it starts leaking. They can also they'll build up calcium in the bottom over time. So if you get a layer, 2-inch layer of calcium in the bottom of your water heater, now it takes a lot more energy to heat that water up. And so you might hear a bunch of popping and crackling noises around the water heater when it's trying to heat up. And your showers and baths, you might not get as much hot water out of that heater now because it's lost capacity. The older your water heater gets, the more buildup it gets. Again, there's ways around that with water treatment, so treating the whole house water. But if your water heater is over 10 years old, you might be thinking about replacing your water heater. If you have a tankless water heater, you'll notice that, hey, maybe I'm not getting as much hot water as I used to, so the heat exchanger could be plugging up, and it might be time to clean that heat exchanger. You're not getting the same amount of hot water flowing through it. Some of them, they stage on depending on how much hot water is required. So let's say you're running one faucet and you got plenty of hot water, but somebody turns on a second faucet and you don't have as much hot water, or the temperature's dropping off. So now it needs to be inspected to make sure all the stages are coming on. So that could be a sign that it needs to be checked or replaced.